Raptors can't get it done against the Sacramento Kings. 124-123 is the final, live from Real Sports. This is Raptors Tonight. I'm Randy Urban, joined by Paul Jones, Sherman Hamilton, and Eric Smith. And welcome to everyone watching on YouTube. Do send us your questions and comments, and we'd love to get to them during the show. All right. That was tough, Jonesy.
Yeah, it was.
That was tough. Just first impressions of that loss tonight.
Well, I just got the feeling, watching the game and watching it from a Raptor perspective, they were never clear of the Kings. They were never, even with leads, they were never comfortable because of the way the Kings played. They keep coming at you. They rebound the ball. Their defense isn't great, but they make up for it in other ways. Like the three-point shooting tonight absolutely tipped the balance of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just thought Toronto, as much as they were ahead and playing with the lead and Sacramento made runs at them, they held them off, but they were never comfortable. You know, you get those games sometimes where it's a win and the other team never really threatens you in the win.
Yeah.
Like you kind of win it. You're not winning it going away, but you're never really pushed.
Yeah, but I was kind of feeling, even during the game, that they were in control, even when Sacramento was making runs. Like, I just felt like because they can get anything they wanted offensively, generally against Sacramento's defense, I felt like, not the game was there, but it was certainly there for the taking.
I never had that feeling.
Yeah, well, you guys don't watch it the way I do.
No, the game was, to me, as Sherman said, the game felt to me like it was always hanging in the balance.
Yeah.
Leads or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like Sacramento, they're a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Like, getting to see them up close, you see that they're a pretty good team in terms of they play in a way that they're never desperate.
Yeah.
And they're always going to play to their strength. That's not how Sacramento used to play. And De'Aaron Fox has matured. Sabonis is a monster. And I think when you talk about the emergence of Malik Monk, the veteran presence of Harrison Barnes, this was a group to me that felt confident, whatever position they were in the game, that they could make something happen. Mm-hmm. And you could see that because they're a volume three-point shooting team, like top 10 in the league in terms of attempts and makes, they knew that once that flamethrower started to heat up, whatever the deficit was, they could shrink it. So I just saw a confident team in the Raptors who couldn't make three-point shots. I mean, you're down 33 points on the three-point line.
Right.
Like,
and Toronto, and Eric and I talked about this. Eric and I said Toronto did everything they normally do. They turned Sacramento over 15 times, got 17 points. Mm-hmm. They had
68 points in the paint.
68 points in the paint. How many more free throw makes? But it wasn't
6 or
enough.
7, yeah.
As Sherm said,
they gave up a lot of offensive rebounds.
So this to me, oh yeah. No, oh look at that.
Whoa. Let me handle that. Let me get to that.
You could have waited till like I was speaking and he was off camera and then just go, hey, sure.
Well, I would have been on camera.
You didn't have
to be speaking.
That's right. You're the closest man. You got to help him
I saw it, but I wasn't going to sell him out on the camera.
That's fine.
Anyways,
still look.
I'm gonna. After you just tried to kill me, I'm gonna try and give you a little bit of support here.
Thank you.
I didn't think it was necessarily in hand for Toronto to the extent maybe that you did. But what I thought was at least that they've kept counterpunching. Anytime Sacramento tried to make that bit of a run, Toronto had that counterpunch. They had that counterpunch, but it went away, I thought, in the fourth quarter. And I'm not singling out one guy, but Jonesy, we were chatting about it. Siakam, I thought, was having a pretty good, not a great, but a pretty good night overall. He was 1 of 5 in the fourth quarter. His 4 misses were all at the rim on missed layups, missed bunnies right at the tin. Scotty Barnes, I don't know what his fourth quarter numbers were. He flirted with the triple-double tonight. He had a couple of soft little hooks in the lane that came up empty. So the points in the paint, as much as it was hovering at almost 70, there were a number of high percentage looks that Toronto came up empty in that final quarter, where suddenly instead of Sacramento being up 2, up 4, up 5, might have been Toronto up 1 or 2, up 3 or 4 or 5. They missed so many gimmies in crunch time and key moments that I think made a huge difference.
Yeah, and offensively, you're right, because sometimes you just overshoot it, like Siakam did a couple times there in tight, which is fine. But defensively, Jonesy, you give up 23 points in the first quarter, and then 101 the rest of the way. You have to do a better job.
3-point line.
Yeah.
As Sherm said, they were 6th in makes 6th in attempts, and that's the way they play. I thought Stan Van Gundy said something a couple of weeks ago on a TNT broadcast about leads in the NBA. And he said, no lead is safe in the NBA.
Yep.
And people, especially fans that have watched for a while, have to give up on the notion they blew a 20-point lead. Both teams had, I think, 90-plus shots tonight. And with the volume of shots, the pace of the game, the advent of the three-point shot being such a huge weapon, leads dissipate quickly. And I just thought, as Sherm said, this is the way we play Sacramento. And it's almost literally live by the three, die by the three. Nothing was going for them early, but they kept playing. They kept staying with it and playing the way they play.
On the positive, Sherm, Fred was brilliant tonight. He just had that look in his eye that I'm going to do whatever it takes to not lose this game. And of course they fall short, but 39 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. He missed that one at the end, but you can't ask for much. Yeah, quality look. Can't ask for much more from him tonight.
Yeah, Fred was great. Fred did a great job in terms of setting the tone early. And Fred was downhill to start, attacking the paint, putting pressure on the middle, getting to the rim. Just softening the body up before they went for the head. And Fred hasn't shot the ball well. And what does a good player who understands how to be effective? You don't stay there and jack threes up.
No.
You attack.
Yeah.
You get to the middle. And I thought he set the tone. That look at the end was a great look from the three-point line. It was reminiscent of Reggie Miller pushing off on Michael Jordan back in the day.
It looked like that.
And I thought Fred had a little bit more time than he realized.
Yeah.
And he kind of shot it while he was turning, where he might have been able to square up first and then shoot it. But I like that look. I'll take that look all day. And it was good to see Fred have an offensive game.
But
yeah, he could have kicked it out.
Yeah.
He could have kicked
That's difficult. Do you find that shot difficult coming to your strong side
Hardest.
and turn? That's the hard
It's
shot,
a tougher
right?
shot.
You'd
Tougher
rather
square.
go the other way.
It's a tougher square. Most
Yeah.
people, weak hand, easier square.
Yes.
And it's a tough square going to your right
Yeah.
if you're a right-handed shooter.
And I was standing kind of right behind it, and it did look good to me.
Yeah, I mean, these guys work on so many different things. That's not a tough shot for Fred VanVleet.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
that balanced turn on the shot is something they work on.
Well, the key is balance in that, right?
And he was balanced. He just missed it.
You're right.
Two things at the end there too, and Sherm just said it, and we saw it, right? Pascal should have kicked that thing out, knowing that you're down by 3. You don't need the 2. But
Was
even
there
when he
time for that, though?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Second
because
to get it out, and now off. Tough.
Scotty Barnes was wide open.
Yeah.
If nobody else, wide open. But even to that point, Randy and Jonesy, we were sitting, 8-10 feet right behind Nick Nurse. Nick wasn't thrilled about the fact that the officials didn't blow the whistle at the end of the game either, because when Sacramento did inbound, I can't remember if it was Pascal or who it was, but they immediately fouled Sabonis. Like, they hit him. Whether there was going to be 0.7, 0.9, you got to go down the floor, you got to hope for a miss, or either way, you're down 3, you inbound the ball, it's going to be a half-court heave or a three-quarter court heave.
There's a chance.
Chances are the game's over. But exactly, there is a chance. So Nick was not happy, and he's right. Like, they hacked Sabonis. The whistle should have blown. So kind of two things. One, their own fault, maybe, quote-unquote. The other, the officials. I don't know why they didn't blow the whistle.
Scotty, you mentioned flirted with a triple-double. Another good game for him. What did you like from his
playmaking?
I thought he got back to, seemed to be playing with a little bit more of that joy that, Eric said the key word playmaking, but I'm just so impressed with the fact that he gets the ball into the paint and stuff happens. A lot of times he's walking guys down there. He's playing like an old school big guy, like an undersized center back in the day. Gets it into the paint, jump hooks, finishing with both hands. As I said, walking guys down and scoring on them. And then when he sees the opportunity, kicking it out for 3. So I thought he was good tonight. I thought he was good tonight. I thought he did some nice things.
Is Sacramento a playoff team?
As of right now, they look like a playoff team.
Yeah.
I think they're a different team, though. Like, this is a team on the up. You know what I mean? Whether or not they're going to be a playoff team that wins a round or whatever, they're a good team. And they figured out, I mean, Mike Brown has done a great job with this group. He's done a great job getting them to understand. You can see some of Golden State now. but he does a great job in getting them to understand each play matters. And sometimes when they were younger, they would just make plays just to play. Now there's a recognition of how to go about it. And I said this earlier, De'Aaron Fox, he's taking that next step. He's
an all-star, right?
What I say on the broadcast.
He's taking that next step. This young man, he's showing, and this was a thing we talked about. He's so quick. You'd be hard-pressed to find a faster guy from free throw line to free throw line with the ball in his hands. The day he learns to shoot, the whole league is in problems.
So,
because you
And
can't
he was
get
making
him
some
anymore.
shots tonight, too.
Because he can.
Yeah?
so
He can.
Came into camp in shape.
well, and I have the backstory to that, and it's interesting. He came into camp in shape after getting married, and they had Luke Luggs, one of the assistant coaches, join him at the end of his honeymoon to get shots up and work out. He actually cut it short. And before everybody goes, well, his wife can't be happy, hold on. She's a former varsity athlete too, and she understands. And
She's happy on the 15th and 30th of every month.
Mike Brown, in the first preseason game, there were 2 consecutive bad plays by De'Aaron Fox. Timeout and right on him. And to Sherm's point, they're running a lot of the Golden State stuff with Sabonis playing the role of Draymond Green around,
So good, man.
around the elbow. He's such a good passer, dumping it over his head. I mean, I still think his old man was a better passer, but the kid's got that. And Mike Brown is playing that, as Sherm said, they're calling it Golden State Light, the splits, taking the ball out of Fox's hands the way they took it out of Curry's hands with an improved shot. He's dangerous. I like what Mike's doing. And listen, he's got a coaching staff with Doug Christie, a former head coach in Jay Triano, and a guy in Barbosa who played in Golden State with the 7 seconds or less Suns and understands this type of game.
All right, good stuff so far, guys. We got to bring in our fan question. Christian's coming in.
Christian.
Come on in, Christian. Oh, he's coming underneath. I like it. I like it, buddy.
Oh, look at the
How are
Bob
you?
Barker
man?
mic. Look out.
Yeah, you good?
What's going on, Chris?
What's up, buddy? You
Sherman.
good? Good to see you, Christian.
Eric, Paul.
That's Paul. Working on the onion rings, I see.
Thanks, man. You almost forgot me.
What do you got,
It's all
Christian?
good. Don't worry.
Just a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Seeing as how the record is, start of the season, how do you guys feel about the starters logging in heavy minutes, as opposed to the bench being utilized?
Jonesy, this is your area of
I was about to
expertise.
say, yeah.
I just think you got to play your best players to win. And if they're your starters, you can rest them and maybe take a chance of losing or losing by more. So I call it the minutes police. I just think you got to
Christian's
take care
part
of
of
winning.
So
Christian.
let me ask you this.
part of the
I'll
minutes,
throw
please?
I'll throw it back to Christian, though. Who is it? Is it one guy, 2 guys, 3 guys? Who is it that's not playing enough that you'd like to see play more?
I definitely want to see Malachi Flynn. That's
He
more
didn't even
minutes.
play at all tonight.
Exactly. He could have provided some.
Who would he
scoring.
play? Who would he take minutes from to rest some of those minutes?
Hey,
and play?
hey, let's
No,
not
but I'm
put-
just I'm just
Hey, he's representing the.
Yes. No. It's
not a bad question.
Definitely Freddie.
Okay.
He logged in a lot of minutes tonight. A lot.
See, I mean,
Play
at
to
least,
win.
He pl-
You play to win.
That's fair.
You
That's
got to play your best players.
Yes.
And
But is there some validity to this?
to what?
To
to guys
giving the
being
bench-
worn down.
Yeah, to
Yes.
giving the bench a little bit more run to get them
Yes.
more acclimated to, I think, which is what you're
Oh,
talking
but what
about.
did Nick not go 5 deep at least tonight?
Yeah, let's
Right?
see. You did.
5 or
deep.
6.
Yeah.
Christian,
Right?
Yes.
you know what? I posed that same question to an NBA coach at Summer League about guys' minutes and wearing down. And he said to me, Jones, you got to take care of winning. He said,
When it
if
comes
you
first.
don't play your best guys, sometimes heavy minutes, and you lose, then the question is, well, why do you have X players sitting on the bench with the game in the balance? Or in the second quarter, they came back on you, why did you leave X on the bench? And his bottom line to me was, as Sherm said, play to win, take care of winning. Take care of winning. I know it's tough sometimes and guys log heavy minutes, but sometimes you got to do that. It's tough. No, it's a real
It's a
conundrum.
difficult. It is a difficult balancing act, I think, because you do want your players to get some minutes because you will need them down the stretch, and we've needed them certainly in the last little while. It's a good question. Appreciate
When you got
it,
an
man.
answer, Christian, we're all dying for it, man.
I just wanted to hear your guys' thoughts.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
awesome. What do you do? You work here?
Yes, I'm going to play here, just a bar back.
Oh, it's awesome. Awesome.
I usually see you guys after every
Beauty.
game.
All right.
So I was, dying to ask you guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Come hang out after the show.
For sure, thank you.
All
guys.
right. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for the support,
Thanks, buddy.
man.
Appreciate you.
brother.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for the support, man.
Thank you guys. Always. Raptors forever.
Hey, I got your back. Don't worry. I got these vultures. Just kidding, sir. We got another question. Thanks, Chris. This is a YouTube question. Somebody watching on YouTube. Naturally Essence is their name.
What is it?
Naturally Essence.
Wow.
Screen
I feel
name
like,
or
is
real
this,
name?
is this your burner account?
No, it's not.
Are you sure?
I wouldn't be named Naturally Essence.
What would it be? Naturally what?
I wouldn't be named Naturally anything.
All right. Is this a slump? Is this slump a neck up or a neck down issue?
Sounds like a Sherm term. Neck up, neck down.
Term. All right, Sherm, Naturally Essence.
I think it's a little of both. I think there's some physical issues with this team, and we've seen it. And I also think when it comes to shooting is a confidence thing, right? And
Sure
sometimes when you're missing, your confidence can wane a bit. And even when you're confident it's not going in, your confidence takes a little hit. So this could be both in this scenario, because I don't think guys that are playing, all of them are healthy.
Yeah.
And nobody's healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But there's some things going on physically with some players, but there's no question that, it's not like this team can't shoot the ball. We've seen them shoot the ball. If you're not making them and you're getting some practice looks in games and you're not making them, it's got to be something happening neck up as well.
I would say to piggyback on that, Sherm, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, well, at least what I was seeing and what I've seen in even the last few games. They're not taking a lot of bad shots. They're not taking a lot of contested shots. They're not hoisting up, jacking up. A lot of the looks they're getting are pretty good looks,
I would
clean
say
looks.
so, for sure. Yeah.
So they are missing a lot. So that to me leans more to, I think you're right, it's a bit of both. But I think it is a little bit more neck up, because here's the other thing too is, I don't think Fred VanVleet or Pascal Siakam are necessarily going home and stewing over the sky is falling like maybe some fans are, but you probably felt, at least on paper, worst case you're going to get the split in Orlando. Worst case. You're probably going to go get both, but you're going to at least get the split. Then you got a team coming to town on a back-to-back. They're playing well this year, but 3 games in 4 nights, you got a pretty good chance of getting that one. You woulda, coulda, shoulda been looking at a team right now that's maybe 16-12. Right?
Yeah, no, that's
Now you're entering a stretch where you're now a couple of below 500. You got Brooklyn coming to town that you haven't beat this year. Then you got Golden State coming to town. I know that Steph Curry got hurt tonight, so who knows if he's going to play on Sunday. But this is also a stretch where they got how many opponents coming up now in the last?
The back-to-back with Philly.
Yeah,
after
back-to-back
Golden
in
State
Philly.
on the road.
Well, I'm saying
Golden State,
this stretch they're in right now, starting with Sacramento, I honestly don't even remember what the number is, but it's like 10-plus games
I think 13.
against teams 500 or better.
Yeah.
Like, this is the point in the season right now where I'm not saying it's done, it's over,
Well-
but like by the time January rolls around, if you don't kind of start to regulate things a little bit, you might be really staring down quite a barrel come January 1st.
Like, look at, with regard to the schedule, they've got to go to Cleveland before you have the time off over Christmas. Then after the break, at home, the Clippers come in, followed by Memphis, and then Phoenix, and then I don't know if it's somebody else in there, I don't know if it's Portland, whatever, but then all of a sudden Milwaukee and Giannis are in town on the 4th. So, but listen, we've seen this before from the Raptors, and they are a resilient group. They are. They will keep playing. They will, and they will figure this out, and they may steal some wins that people don't think they should get. So,
got a history of doing that in the past.
The long season.
Yep. All right, guys, let's do a little overtime. The NBA has renamed 5 individual player awards as well as added a new one. Here they are. Michael Jordan Trophy for MVP, Olajuwon Trophy for Defensive Player of the Year, Wilt Chamberlain for Rookie of the Year, Havlicek for Sixth Man, George Mikan, my guy, for Most Improved, Jerry West for Clutch Player of the Year. Do you like the rebranding effort by the NBA here, Sherm?
I always like respecting the history of the game. And I think all those names on the list have a significant role in making this game what it is today. So I think the Michael Jordan MVP award is just kind of an acknowledgement that he should have won MVP every year of the championship run, and he didn't get it, so we're going to give you the trophy in your name. I love the John Havlicek Sixth Man of the Year. He was the epitome of that role coming off the bench. He was great at it, and everybody wonders why Wilt was the Rookie of the Year. Look at Wilt's rookie year numbers. I don't think it'll ever be duplicated. I think it was something like 38 and 27 he averaged. It was ridiculous.
Somebody said Wilt doesn't get enough respect. And then you think, records come up, right? Guys are doing stuff in this era now. And I always say, with the three magic words. First time a guy's blah, 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 since Wilt Chamberlain. Like there should be, to Sherm's point, a record book and then the Wilt record book. He averaged 50 a game one year.
Yeah.
And then they said, all you do is shoot, Wilt, you don't pass.
And then he led the league
The
in
next
assists.
year he goes, okay, I'll lead the league in assists,
Yeah.
right? And like this notion that he was playing against plumbers and U-Haul drivers, look at the Hall of Famers he played against and sometimes couldn't win. The Celtics with Russell and Casey Jones and Havlicek and people like.
Here's the thing.
They get the names right, E?
They got the names right. I'm not questioning any of the names they named and that they used. But, hold on, Sherman.
I'm holding on.
Hold
I just know what but means. You are
However.
questioning something.
I don't know what award he could or should get, but when you start honoring guys of the past that are deserving, is there something for Magic Johnson? Is there something for Larry Bird? When he steps away from the game in a year or 2 or 5 or whatever it is in 10, 15 years from now, is there something for LeBron James other than what Evan Turner said? I don't know if you heard that.
No.
Evan Turner was asked on Twitter, I think, some fan or some follower asked, like, what about for LeBron? And Evan Turner kind of clapped back and said, like, if they ever have another bubble, they can name that championship trophy after LeBron. So that's pretty good by Evan Turner. But when you start honoring the greats of the great and the greats of history, and we talk about, and we can, not to rehash it again, the Mount Rushmore, blah, 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 whether Magic's on that list, whether Larry Bird's on that list, LeBron James is on that list already. So when he does step away, what award are you creating for him? And is it going to take 20 years? Because he is absolutely deserving of an honor like that if you're respecting the greats, the truly greats in the history of the game.
You agree?
I like the names.
Yeah.
I like the names.
Well, I said I like him too,
Yeah,
but
no, I just-
am I not right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe new awards come in.
Yeah.
I mean, some
these
people
guys-
are already starting to buzz
Well, they
about
have
the fact
Mr.
that.
Clutch. It's a new
Mr.
award.
Clutch, yeah.
Jerry West was known as Mr. Clutch.
So then are they going to take the logo away from Jerry West and make somebody else the logo now, i.e. Kobe Bryant, that a lot of people are talking about?
Well, you can't be the logo and Mr. Clutch.
Well, why does he get 2? Shouldn't Michael Jordan get 2?
You can't change the logo
Why
now.
don't you make Michael Jordan the logo?
You could,
Why does Jerry West get 2?
rebrand the logo
Rebrand
and make
the
a
logo.
whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
Absolutely you could.
The NBA would.
Tradition. I like tradition.
I'm good with that.
And what the hell is Mr. Clutch anyways? Oh my
How do they?
How do you quantify that?
I like it, but this is but. Mr. Clutch can't have the logo.
What is Mr. Clutch? Like Jonesy, you and I talk about this all the time because you say an MVP can't be a guy that plays only one end of the floor.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming a clutch guy can't only play one end of the floor, and I'm assuming a clutch guy can't be a non-playoff team either. So what is clutch? And who is clutch?
Well, the MVP is a regular season award.
Isn't an MVP Mr. Clutch?
No, but it's a regular season award. So why can't you have a clutch in the regular season?
But I'm asking you, what is a clutch?
I'm sure they have a definition.
They have
of
a,
what it is.
they have a
Your
stat.
clutches.
They have a there's clutch point stat.
Yeah, there's
it's
clutch
like,
point stat.
within 5 points in the last 5 minutes
Anybody
of the
who's
fourth
clutch
quarter.
misses more than they make.
Correct.
In clutch
Yeah,
moments.
yeah. Sherm knows.
I'm just saying.
Sherm knows.
Okay.
All right, the debate rages on here.
So
as
a guy
we
could
eat
average
wings.
8 points a game, but if he hits those 8 points in clutch, He's going to win an award?
Well, listen.
Well, the chances of that
Listen,
happening are
I'm
slim to zero.
I'm just saying.
your-
That's where the butt comes
to
in.
zero.
That's where the
Turn
butt
it
comes
into
in.
buffoonery when you say that.
It's a butt.
Here's the name I'll
big
give you.
butt.
You mentioned Larry Bird, right?
Big butts don't lie.
In Larry Bird's clutch world, his guy was Dennis Johnson. And he always said that. I don't pass it to DJ until the fourth quarter because that's the only time he makes them.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe it should have been the Dennis Johnson Award because the logo already's got something.
I'll
hating,
look at,
man.
I'll look at clutch scoring.
Only hating.
I'll look at clutch defense. I'll look at the guy that gives me the best. And it's not, you're right, it's not just one end of the floor. Who's making blocks at the end? Who's making steals? Who's creating turnovers? Who's got the most deflections in the last 5 minutes?
So let me ask you this: Has clutch ever been defined by defense? When we talk about clutch, we talk about making a shot.
Should it?
No.
No, I'm asking a question. So now that there's an award for it, now we want to incorporate the defensive side.
Because I don't like the award.
Oh, you don't like Jerry West having two?
No, I don't.
Okay,
right.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Let's stop it there. All right, good stuff tonight, guys. Next game for the
Clutch
Raptors.
move, Randy. Clutch move.
Friday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern is the tip. Raptors going against the Brooklyn Nets. And don't forget, come by Real Sports, have some food, be a part of the show. Maybe you'll get to ask a question. Sit right between Sherman and I. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.